From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, a bail proposal has been denied for the father of the Tanana man accused of killing 2 Alaska State Troopers in May.
58-year-old Arvin Kangas will remain in jail charged with 4 counts of tampering with physical evidence and hindering prosecution, all felonies. Kangas and his son Nathaniel are accused of moving the bodies and the firearms of the 2 troopers the son was accused of shooting at Tanana. Kangas's lawyers proposed his brother Alvin Kangas become his third-party custodian and that he remains in Fairbanks. The brother expressed concerns about having Kangas go to work with him.
Well, the severity of what's going on here, and that, I got, you got 2 troopers that lost their lives, and my clients, see that, I don't know. It's just, it puts me in an awkward position.
The judge ultimately denied the request, stating Kangas has been defiant and agitated in court and that he was a danger to the community and law enforcement officials.
The Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce hosted a debate between the candidates seeking the Republican nomination for Alaska Senate today. Now, Jamie Schwartzwald has that story.
Thank you. Today's debate at the Carlson Center between Joe Miller, Meade Treadwell, and Dan Sullivan was relatively friendly. In fact, at one point during the forum, the candidates were asked to compliment their opponents.
You know, these are good family men who are taking care of their families, and I think that's the reason why all of us are running.
I'll say I'm sitting here between 2 good lawyers and 2 good family men and 2 men I've enjoyed knowing as Alaskans.
Meade, I think you've always had a warm personality, been very congenial. And in some ways, I'm a little bit envious of that.
Each candidate was given 90 seconds for an opening statement. That was followed by a question-answer period. They were given 45 seconds to answer 12 questions compiled by the chamber and sponsors of the event. There were 6 questions posed from candidate to candidate in a question-answer redirect close format. There were also 4 questions posed by members of the crowd, the second of which asked if the candidates felt they could work in unison with Lisa Murkowski, Alaska's senior U.S. Senator.
I would work very well with Senator Murkowski. I think one of the things that would be good for Alaska, we win this seat against Mark Begich, the Republicans take back the U.S. Senate, Senator Murkowski would be the chair of the Senate Energy Committee.
I have had a lifelong relationship with her and members of her family, and I know that even where we disagree, and we often do disagree, that we can work together for the benefit of Alaska.
Senator Murkowski has voted with Obama 72% of the time. On 28% of the areas where we can agree, you can bet I'll be hand in hand with her to make sure the interests of this state are advanced.
Thank you.
Each candidate routinely agreed on the failures of Democrat incumbent Mark Begich in his representation of Alaska. All 3 closed with final statements as to how they would represent the 49th state.
My career has been about taking action, not going to conferences, not doing studies, taking action. And that's what we need. We can turn this around.
The state is the wealthiest state in the nation. It's where hope and opportunity can really be created if but the federal government would get out of our lives. That doesn't mean that we want to reduce the federal government to nothing.
Send a guy to Washington who believes from the core of his soul that Alaska deserves the rights and privileges that every state in the Union should enjoy.
All right, you been to the fair yet?
I haven't.
No?
No.
Yeah, it's really magical is what I'd like to say this year.
Magical.
Because, well, something about this fair this year, it's really different. I kind of like it.
Is it all the rain?
Maybe not.
The new riots?
Right, possibly.
All right, well, I guess now we're going to be joined by Mike Schultz live from the Tanana Valley State Fair. Let's see who he's talking to today.
Okay. Well, I guess we're having technical difficulties, so we will just go to break. When in trouble, go to break. All right, now when we come back, troopers are seeking help in locating a 14-year-old runaway.
Also, we'll have your weekly military report, all that, plus more when the Fairbanks Evening News continues. Stay with us.
All right, well, Stephanie.
It looks like we are back in business now.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, we'll join Mike at the Tanana Valley State Fair. Mike.
Hey guys, it's a beautiful night out here at the Tanana Valley State Fair. I'm over at the Sunrise Arena and I'm here for a special event called the Lawnmower Race. Normally you think of a lawnmower race as the little lawnmowers you drive around and cutting the grass, but guess But these are really good lawnmowers. And I'm here also with Sean Ferris with the North Pole Speedway. And Sean, describe just exactly what a lawnmower race is all about.
Well, a lawnmower race basically is just just a regular lawnmower that we modified. We've taken the blades off, we've taken the decks off, we've changed the governor springs out, and we put smaller pulleys on the back of these things so they go a little bit faster. Commercially, they sell these at 20 horsepower Briggs & Strattons usually, and they go about 7 miles an hour in your yard. This one definitely goes a lot faster than that.
He said sometimes 50 to 60 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, I think in a straight line, one of these would probably easily match 50 to 55 miles an hour.
Wow, that's a lot of speed. And speaking of speed, what's going to be happening is this over here, the racetrack. I want you to define the racetrack and what's exactly what's going to be happening in just a little bit.
Well, instead of setting up a traditional oval and having these guys just run circles, I set it up as a half hourglass shape, meaning that the front stretch curves in and then back out, and then the back stretch is straight. Just going out here to have some fun, maybe do some 10-lap races, and then we'll put some money out there and see if these guys are serious about it.
Speaking of fun, let's fire it up.
All right.
All right. And he's off. That's pretty cool. We'll be back later on with the weather. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mike. Continuing with our news tonight, Alaska State Troopers are asking for the public's help locating a North Pole teen who hasn't been seen since June 29th. 14-year-old Richard Wellfort, who goes by the name Andrew Collins, has not been seen or heard from since he ran away from home over a month ago. Troopers say the boy has run away before, but this time has been different because no one has heard anything from the young man. Family members have searched the area, even contacting local businesses. Wellfort is described as being 5'6" tall, 108 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. He was last seen wearing a yellow Aeropostal t-shirt, camouflage shorts, and flip-flops.
This is a 14-year-old. There hasn't been a blip on social media. The family, friends, and troopers have looked for him. They've, contacted convenience stores in the area showing pictures, and nobody's seen him. So we're quite concerned because he has been gone for so long and he hasn't been heard from in so long.
If you have any information, you can phone Fairbanks-based troopers at 451-5100.
Juvenile justice was a key topic at the Alaska Tribal Court Conference this morning in Fairbanks. A panel of experts agreed that tribal courts can have positive impacts on youth offenders. Tribal justice works slowly to understand the young person and to issue meaningful sentences. The adolescent's charges disappear after completing their sentence. State courts typically issue standard sentences to everyone, and the charges can hurt a juvenile's future opportunities. A tribal specialist for the Tanana Chiefs Conference said tribal courts may soon have the ability to handle particular misdemeanor cases and steer juveniles down a healthier path.
And any law enforcement could directly refer certain types of misdemeanors straight to tribal courts for sentencing. So it's a huge development and something that we're hoping to roll out and for tribes to be able to partake in within the next few months.
Over 880 soldiers from the 1st Stryker Brigade Combat Team attempted to earn the Expert Infantry Badge at Fort Wainwright last week. Monty Bowen has details in this week's military report.
The soldiers were tested on 33 different infantry skills, including land navigation, marksmanship, weapons proficiency, and first aid.
Going through all the tasks, skill level 1 task of being an infantryman shows that we fight hard, we train hard, we work hard. That's what the EIB is, Expert Infantry Badge.
The week of testing ends with all remaining candidates having to finish a 13-mile ruck march in under 3 hours. Once completed, the soldier has proven his expertise and is pinned with the badge. Of the more than 800 that started, only 74 won the badge.
We're ready to take on that duty as an expert infantryman.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Well, who says summer's over? Not yet. We still have the whole month of August, and so this week we're going to find out what's happening at Pioneer Park.
Hello, welcome back to another edition of What's Happening at Pioneer Park with me, Stephanie Woodard. Now, you might be wondering why I'm inside this little car. Well, this is an antique car with the Friends of the Tanana Valley Railroad, and today we're going to talk to them about what they have going on and what you can expect at the park. Come on. All right, well, I'm here with Martin and Steve with Friends of the Tanana Valley Railroad. So let's start with you, Steve. Tell me what you have going on here.
Well, we're doing some maintenance work to prepare for the August 23rd run date for Military Appreciation Day with engine number 1.
Tell me what is so important about this engine.
It was the first one in here in 1905, operated on what was then the Tanana Valley Railroad, which ran out to Chattanooga. And a number of years ago, our organization got together to restore it to operate, and we operate here at Pioneer Park on selected days.
Great. Now let's go to you, Martin. Martin, what can you tell me about the actual museum here?
Well, the museum was built in 2006, and we've housed the engine and the apparatus that we use on it. And the museum is open noon to 8 p.m. every day while the park's open.
What about the rides and stuff that the kids can go on?
Well, certainly the rides, the park, of course, runs number 67, which is the one that was built for the anniversary of the purchase of Alaska. And our engine runs on special days. For instance, August 23rd is Military Appreciation Day, and we run on certain holidays, and the regular engine will be running after that.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much, and make sure you come on down and check out all this great stuff here at the Friends of the Tanana Valley Railroad, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park. All right, that was fun today.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it.
Yeah.
All right, coming up in sports with Austin Buchanan. High school football is back. He'll give you an inside peek on how one team says their first 3 practices are going.
Also, down in Florida, volleyball tryouts may bring some attention to the court, and he will explain that.
Yes, he will, right after the break. Stay tuned.